here and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and build this rustic base game family home. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is Real Thomas TV1. So recently I have done quite a lot of modern builds, and well, you may have noticed that I've just started to love to do modern builds more often than more traditional suburban style ones. Maybe because I've done suburban style builds for quite a long time, I fancy a change now. Don't really know what's going on with that. But also, as you know, I'm not really that good with modern exteriors. I do like modern interiors, but not so much of the exteriors. But anyway, today I decided to kind of go back to what I normally do for a change. And this is also a base game build, because the last build I did was actually a collab with Pauline from PCH Sims. And she does a lot of base game and restrictor pack builds. And that kind of gave me the idea to do this. And also somebody did leave a comment the other day to do a rustic family home. I'm going to look on my phone now through my comments to see if I can find it. Yes, I can find it. It's actually from Josephine Sarikivi, I think. I'm not too sure how to say that last name, but thank you to Josephine for that idea. And that's what we're doing today. And like I did say, it is base game. And as I was just saying as well, you know, Pauline does a lot of base game builds. I think they are a really great thing as well, for two reasons. One, if you don't have all the packs, it's a build that you can download. Anybody can download it because it uses no packs. And also, it is also a little bit more of a challenge for me as well. Sometimes I use a lot of packs, and to kind of go from doing that in all my builds to not using any packs at all, it can be quite challenging to make things look interesting. But as you also know as well, a lot of the builds I do try to restrict packs as much as I can. So that also kind of helps me out a little bit when it comes to base game builds, because I am used to not using all of the different packs, you know, in a build, if that makes sense. So it definitely was challenging to do this build, but I made it work. And also, what I always say, if you're going to do a base game build, the best way to do it is to disable all the packs. The Sim Supplies website has a tool where you can kind of click all the packs that you don't want in your game, and you have like it makes like a string of text, and you put it into the game properties on Origin for The Sims 4, and when you load the game up, all those packs that you didn't want to be in the game would be gone. It doesn't mean the packs have been uninstalled or anything, it just removes them from the game temporarily, and it just makes it easier to look through the items in the catalogs without seeing all the other items that you can't use. And then when you finish, you just go into game properties and remove that text that you put in before, and your game goes back to normal. So that's what I did here, just so I wasn't tempted by all the other objects I can't use. And it definitely does make the process of building a lot easier, because you're not focusing on things you can't use. And this build, I didn't mention the details about it, but it's built on a 30 by 20 lot in Newcrest. Of course, it doesn't really matter where you place it. It's kind of a very sort of, it would fit nicely in Newcrest, in Widow Creek, possibly in Brindleton Bay. I'm not too sure about that because the windows are different, but I don't know, maybe. And it has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and it came in at 111,205 simoleons. And of course, if 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms isn't enough, there is definitely room to make a basement, and you can put as many rooms as you want down there and expand on it that way. And also, you know, the thing with this being a base game build, you are very restricted in what you can use. The house is definitely a lot more simple than my other types of builds, but I think that's to be expected. So, you know, if you have other packs and other kind of activities within those packs that you want to add into the house to make things more interesting and more stuff to do, then obviously feel free to do that, because there wasn't really that many other activities I could put in. Let's see what I can think of. So in the backyard area, you know, there's a barbecue, outdoor seating area, there's a climbing frame for the kids, there's also a few planter boxes and an easel and a chest table. And then there is a garage, which, as you know, if I put a garage in my build, normally what I do is change it into a gym. So I did that. There's quite a few different types of gym equipment in there. There's also in there a woodworking table. I know it's kind of changing the garage into a gym, but it's also kind of a very garagey kind of item, if that makes sense. And again, for a base game, I wanted to put in as much stuff as I could, so there's that in there. Lots of bookshelves around the place. Like I said, there is a kids room. I couldn't actually fit a toy box in the kids room, so I ended up putting that in the living room, which I've seen people do in the builds before. I don't really do that, because the living room in my build sometimes are very sort of nice, and I imagine that the family wants to keep it very nice and then having all the kids' toys in there, but I had to go ahead and do that today because I couldn't fit it in anywhere else. And then there's also a study. And I think that is all I can think of at the minute. There might be a few other activities here and there, but anyway, that's a very long-winded way to say that if you want to add more stuff in from other packs, if you have them, then feel free to go ahead and do that. So this is the living room here. Now, one thing that I had a lot of trouble with in today's build was with the rustic theme. I didn't really know what to do in terms of wallpapers, because there are some very rustic-looking wallpapers, but the house itself and the exterior doesn't look all that old. So I was thinking, do I go for more of a rustic slash slightly updated kind of modern look? Not ultra modern though, just a updated look. So I kind of did that, as you can see, with these, you know, more plain painted wallpapers, and then also combining them with the normal wallpapers as well, which have the more old-fashioned look to them. So I kind of did a combination of that throughout the house, and I think it still made it look a little bit more rustic looking, but also has a little bit of a modern feel to it in here, you know, just in different places. So I hope you don't really mind about that. But I also think that's very a classic Thomas TV thing to do, because as you know, if I do a very traditional suburban home, it will be slightly more updated in terms of like furniture and things like that, as I just prefer that look. So I suppose it kind of goes along with what I normally do. And the kids room today is neutral. To begin with, I wasn't going to put a kids room in, but I thought because the house is so simple, because of it being base game, I thought I'd go ahead and add that in to make it a little bit more interesting. So it's got like a red colour theme on, but I just wanted to make it neutral, so I did that. There's also the master room, which has its own fireplace. I really like the master room actually. And there's also one other room which has a double bed in it, which again is neutral. I didn't really have anything in mind for a personality for that room, so the secondary room is just sort of plain. Could be used as a guest room or for another sim. And it is a double bed in there, but as you will see, it is pushed up against the wall. Now, I don't do that a lot of my builds. I normally, if I use a double bed, then you can access it from both sides. Never really do that thing where I put a double bed against the wall, because you can't access one of the sides of the bed. So there is room within that actual room to, you know, move it around to make sure you can access both sides of the bed, but I just thought for a change I'll do that differently today. And yeah, so I know videos recently have been a little bit sparse. I mean, I have been uploading, but just not my normal 3 videos a week. Just to recap, my normal 3 videos a week are Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, but as you would have noticed, the last couple of weeks I've been missing videos here and there. I've just had a lot on, and honestly I think I really need a new pack, because I'm just getting a little bit bored here and there, and just sort of not really having much inspiration for builds and things. So I'm hoping that we're getting a new pack soon. I've heard a lot of people talking about them also wanting a new pack. I think we should be due one. I know there is the community stuff pack coming out. Well, I'm not sure when that's coming out, but it's in the works, as we know. And then I've heard talk of a game pack maybe, but I don't know. I'm hoping whatever it is, it's going to be soon. I don't know anything. I'm just letting you know. I know as a game changer, sometimes you do find out information, but I'm just letting you know that I don't know anything about whatever this upcoming pack is. However, I did see some people wanting more of like a sort of like a sports pack, or sort of like a kind of like a vacation world, like Granite Falls, like an alpine sort of looking world. I think that would be great. Like a winter sports kind of thing. Well, as a builder, that isn't really my kind of style, as you know, I like to make family homes, so maybe that sort of pack won't be for me, but at the same time, I think there are some interesting builds I could do with that, and do some different types of things as well. So I'm hoping we'll get something like that for a change. Just like a snowy type of world, I think would be good for a change, because we'll have the tropical one with Island Living, and maybe use that as another alternative to playing. And this room right here is the master room that I was talking about before. I do really like this one. It is fairly spacious. I don't know if you noticed when I was doing the floor plan, I'm not too sure if I cut it out or not, but I did have another bathroom in this room, but the bathroom made it a very awkward shape. There was a lot of pop-outs and it just made the room very awkward, so I just took out that extra bathroom. But it, you know, you can rearrange things in the house if you need to sort of match the needs of what family you're playing, if you want to do that instead. And then we're just working on the study here, nothing too special about it. You'll also see on the driveway there, I am using some pictures from the gallery. Those are just rooms that people upload. They take pictures in-game, either of painting from reference or using a CC item and then painting that, and then uploading it, like, well, your sim paints it and then puts it in a picture frame, so when you upload it, it doesn't count as CC, and it's base game, so it's really great for adding just more interesting looking paintings into your game, especially if you have base game, because it's very limited. And actually, as I've said a lot of times, but I think we really need some more paintings in game in general, even from all the packs. It's still a little bit limited sometimes, I find, especially if you build quite a lot. So I've just been using those paintings to make things look a little bit more interesting in the build most recently. I hope we'll get some more in-game painting soon though. And yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap this voiceover up here. We've got like a minute or so left of footage before we head on to the screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed it. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of this build. If you have any more suggestions for anything else that you want to see on the channel next, that'd be really helpful to hear. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and you can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!